Corrupt politicians are nothing new. They've been around since the beginning of our republic. What is new, though, is that political parties, in particular the Republican Party, has shown a willingness to protect corrupt and dangerous public officials who are subverting the public's interest, whether it's Donald Trump or whether it's Trump's mentee, Ken Paxton. Um, some folks have asked me how this is possible, and I always give them a simple answer, which is follow the money. The the trial in the Texas Senate was presided over by our Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick. Weeks before the trial started, Dan Patrick took $3 million in campaign contributions from two billionaire megadonors who are buddies with Ken Paxton. And it was given through a group that was explicitly pro-Paxton. And so this trial was not a fair trial to begin with. Dan Patrick and the Texas Senate are bought and paid for by wealthy special interests who are looking out for their buddy Ken Paxton. And the reason this is relevant is because those same billionaire megadonors, those two billionaires, are now funding an effort to privatize public education in our state with a private school voucher. Dan Patrick did their bidding on the Ken Paxton trial, and now Governor Greg Abbott is doing their bidding by calling a special session in the next few weeks to try to pass this voucher scam, which will give our hard-earned, precious tax dollars to unaccountable private schools at the expense of our underfunded public schools.
You gave me the segue that I was looking for. Thank you, James, on the vouchers, because it really is. It's all coming together, isn't it?
That's right.
And what I'm so happy to have you here for is, for me, when I was on the other side, a lot of these buzzwords that they use, whether it's about education or immigration or taxes or anything, their buzzwords sound good. Right. They claimed the freedom platform for years for me, and that was enough. I was so blinded. I just thought, oh, these are the freedom people. Right. Well, their buzzword now is school choice and parental rights. Right. And I think those are completely misleading and totally do not grasp what is going on here. Can you debunk this notion of school choice and parental rights?
Absolutely. So first, a voucher is any program that's going to divert those precious hard-earned tax dollars away from our underfunded public schools and giving them to unaccountable private schools. And vouchers have been proposed in Texas for decades. The first voucher bill came in 1957, just 2 years after Brown v. Board, as an effort to try to resegregate public schools in the state of Texas. And ever since then, a bipartisan coalition of urban Democrats and rural Republicans have joined together to defeat vouchers and protect our public schools. In our small towns around Texas, the school district is not only the largest employer, it's also the central community hub that is holding these small towns together. Globalization and income inequality have hollowed out so many of our rural communities. The last pillar that's still standing in many small towns is the local school. And vouchers would destroy public schools throughout Texas. And it would take money from schools that are meant for all of us and give it to private schools that serve the wealthy few. And so these billionaire megadonors who are pushing these voucher scams know that vouchers are unpopular in Texas. They always have been. And so they're trying to use new slogans to force these scams on Texans. One of them is school choice. But this is not school choice. In fact, it's the school's choice, because private schools can deny admission to any student they want for any reason they want. They can deny admission based on academics. They can deny admission based on behavior. They can deny admission because your parents don't make enough money. They can deny admission because you're not a cultural fit. So how can we take money from our public schools that are meant to serve everybody and give it to these unaccountable private schools that only serve the wealthy elite?